Let's get to the news.
Executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech, but there's another reason which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they? Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that.
Well, yes, as you heard, our president, El Presidente, Donald John Trump, signed an executive order directing the Justice Department to pursue criminal charges against individuals who burn or desecrate the American flag, claiming it incites violence and riots. Now just think about this, right? You can burn the Bible. You can burn the Quran. You can burn just about anything else in this society. But two things: the Israeli flag and the American flag. And notice, they actually made burning the Israeli flag illegal, or at least tried to make it legal before they made the American flag illegal. And I actually think that that's a big part of the reason why Donald Trump did this. Because Donald Trump's MAGA base is turning on him tremendously about Israel. So many people who voted for Donald Trump are saying, dude, we wanted you to be America first. Why are you putting Israel first? How is it that burning an Israeli flag gets you in more trouble than burning an American flag? And so my belief is that Donald Trump is actually doubling back and making American flag burning against the law because he's tired of his base asking him why burning the Israeli flag is somehow a priority of an American first government. So that's just the way I view it. The order actually instructs Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute flag burning under existing laws such as those related to disturbing the peace, destruction of property, or open burning restrictions, and explore litigation to challenge the scope of First Amendment protections. So again, we've already had Supreme Court decisions. Like the 1989 Supreme Court ruling Texas v. Johnson, which established flag burning as protected political expression under the First Amendment in a 5-4 decision. The court ruled that flag burning does not constitute fighting words or incite imminent lawless action unless accompanied by other illegal acts. Legal experts, including the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, argued that Trump's order is unlikely to withstand constitutional scrutiny as it cannot override the First Amendment, which I don't think this will stand up in court. But again, the point, I believe, is to grandstand and to virtue signal to the MAGA base, yes, I'm still America first. Yes, I've been bending over backwards for Israel since I've been in office. But yeah, we're not going to burn monuments and we're not going to burn the flag. Here, damn. And so I think that there's a lot of pretense behind this, what we're seeing. Now, this executive order also calls for visa revocations or deportation of non-citizens who engage in flag desecration. Trump stated that those convicted would face a 1-year jail sentence, though the order itself does not specify this penalty. So again, much of what we're seeing from Donald Trump now is him grasping for power and trying to satisfy his base that are very much, like I said, very much dissatisfied with what they're getting out of him in a lot of ways. They wanted America first. They got Israel first. They got Israel first, more than anything else. And so the Trump administration has got to double back. They've got to double back. They've got to make people believe that Donald Trump is America first again. And this obviously unconstitutional executive order that will not stand up in court is the first. Just like when they deported Kilmar Obrego Garcia. And when they threw Mahmoud Khalil in prison, they knew a lot of this stuff would not stand up in court. That's why Mahmoud Khalil is out today. That's why multiple courts have filed injunctions to stop Kilmar Abrego Garcia from being deported. These things are unconstitutional. And in the case of Mahmoud Khalil, we know Trump knew that throwing this man in jail solely because he has a certain opinion about the genocide in Gaza was unconstitutional. We know this because his sister, Marianne Trump Berry, was the one who actually ruled that you cannot deport somebody solely because they have a political opinion. His sister ruled that. So we know Trump knows better. But again, this is sort of a negotiating tactic with Trump. For him, everything is a business deal. You ask for more than what you want. You ask for a lot more than what you want. And then you get what you can get. So I'll ask for $100, and they'll go, $100? That's ridiculous. Take 75. Meanwhile, I was like, I would have done it for 30. I would have done it for $30. But thank you for the 75. And so that's what Trump is doing here. He's testing the limits of the Constitution, testing the limits of the courts, testing the limits of his power. Also, this flag burning order comes at the same time. Now notice this as well. This is coming at the same time that Trump is announcing that the U.S. is going to allow 600,000 Chinese students to study in American universities. 600,000. That is a significant increase from the 277,398 enrolled during this academic school year. This statement was made ahead of a meeting with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, which emphasized improving economic relations with China, with Trump noting, we're going to get along good with China. Now again, this is a man who ran on America first. This is a man who ran on, we're going to get him out of our universities. We're going to send him back to whatever countries they came from. Now, he's almost tripling more than doubling the amount of Chinese students in American schools. After all the crap he's talked about China. And all the crap that he's talked about American universities needing to be for Americans. Now he's going to allow 600,000, more than double of the current number of Chinese students to fill American universities. So, of course, a lot of Trump's base were not happy about this. Like I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who for some reason just decided to start making sense about a lot of stuff recently. Unfortunately, both parties are so bad that somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's literally insane, sounds more coherent and responsible than most of the politicians in both parties now. Argued that allowing 600,000, she argued that allowing 600,000 Chinese students could displace American students. And questioned loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party, stating we should not let in 600,000 Chinese students to attend American colleges and universities that may be loyal to the CCP. Now again, this is what Trump ran on. He ran on that Joe Biden was beholden to the Chinese. And now he's the one who's going to double the amount of Chinese students in American universities at a time when college is extremely expensive, so expensive that most Americans, young people, can't afford it without going into massive debt. And so again, Trump's people are rejecting this. Laura Loomer labeled the students communist spies and said that the policy undermines Trump's immigration crackdown. Steve Bannon called it mind-bendingly ridiculous. Christopher Rufo, the man who brought woke, it sort of caused the whole meltdown over wokeness and critical race theory, advocated for reduced Chinese student visas, especially for those with CCP ties. Trump defended this move and said that Chinese students are vital to the U.S. college system. He said if they didn't come, our college system would go to hell very quickly. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick supported this, saying that the bottom 15% of universities and colleges would go out of business. Critics like Fox News host Laura Ingraham questioned how this aligns with Donald Trump's America First policy. And the fact is, it doesn't. It does not. In any sense of the word, this does not align with Donald Trump's America First policy. Argues that it benefits institutions like Harvard, which she called factories of anti-America propaganda, which is really just telling the truth about things that America has done, and even not that much. Like, there's a reason that all of our warmongering politicians who help maintain the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, send all of the jobs overseas to places like China. They all go to these very expensive Ivy League colleges. So, I mean, but that's not what she means by anti-American. She means, oh, they teach that Christopher Columbus wasn't the greatest guy in the world. Oh, they teach that, you know, black people had to deal with slavery and slavery was bad. Which it was. I hate to have to be the one to tell people that slavery was pretty bad. And so again, much of what Donald Trump does, and this is one of the things that makes Trump so hard to negotiate, is because he regularly contradicts himself. He regularly doubles back and goes against his own policies, his own thoughts, his own ideas. Secretary of State Marco Rubio promised just 4 months ago, 3 months ago, to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students with CCP, which is the Chinese Communist Party, connections, and increase visa security. This was just 3 months ago. So again, this just goes to show you what I've always said about Trump. The man stands for nothing. He has no values, no beliefs, no real ideology other than make money, get attention, grab as much power as you can. Grab as much money and power as you can, and, you know, get as much attention as you can, and sort of placate the ego as much as possible. He has no real values, no real beliefs. That's why he can easily shed anything he claims to hold dear, just quickly. Just like he just send you away. He ran on releasing the Epstein files and getting rid of pedophiles and all that other stuff. But he's protecting Ghislaine Maxwell, who's one of the most epic child sex traffickers in the world. His whole base was obsessed with groomers and pedophiles. But just a few weeks ago, I don't know if you guys have heard this in the mainstream media. I seriously doubt it, considering who runs our media. But Israel's senior department head in national security, Tom Alexandrovich, was arrested just a few weeks ago in Las Vegas during a sting operation that was targeting child sex predators. So we had the head of Israel's National Cyber Directorate in our country soliciting sex from underage girls. He believed he was meeting a 15-year-old girl and he was caught up in this sting. He was immediately released on bail. And did Trump and his administration that claims to be so tough on crime, did they keep him locked up? No. They released him on bail and let him go back to Israel. He just had a court date. His lawyer told him he didn't have to come. And the judge almost cursed out his lawyer. Trump's not saying anything about this. Where's the outrage from the media about this? Where's the outrage from MAGA about this? Very little. And this is why I've said, not too long ago, I said it, the only real ideology these people hold is white supremacy. That's it. They will hold the white supremacy. That's the only, and I don't just mean Trump either. Because I believe what Chappelle said. The whole house is corrupt. All of them are corrupt. The only thing they will hold, they will shed being Democrats, they'll shed being Republicans, they'll shed being Christians, or Jewish, or capitalist. They'll shed all that. When it comes to maintaining the hegemony over the wealth and power in this world, they don't give a damn about anything but that. And making sure you don't have it. If you're not one of them. In their special little club. Like the late great George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. They will regularly contradict themselves. They will regularly break their own values, their own rules. But what about, in the Bible it says this. I thought you said that you were right with, but in the, in capitalists, Adam Smith actually said they don't care. They don't care what Adam Smith said. They don't care what the Bible says. They don't care what Jesus says. They will only use those things when it's convenient to them to help maintain the hegemony over you. That is it. And so it is important that, like I said, that we don't go to sleep here. That's the one good thing I will say about Trump being president. A lot of people who go to sleep regularly when Democrats are in office, when Obama was in office and suspended habeas corpus, or when Joe Biden was in office and ended the child tax credit and plunged millions of people back into poverty, and homelessness was at historic levels. A lot of y'all go to sleep whenever a Democrat's in office. When we start yelling and screaming about stuff, yo, man, you give them a chance. They not God, they just the president. Nah. The one good thing about Trump being in office, you guys understand that you can't go to sleep here. You understand that this system is corrupt. You understand that there's going to be a lot less for you in the future than you're getting right now in most instances. Good. You should be recognizing this. You should always recognize it when you see it. All right, folks. That was a big heavy. That was a little bit heavy. When we get back, we're gonna talk about my main man, Snoop. one of our pop culture's most popular and somehow, prominent figures in spite of his origins. We're gonna get into what Snoop Dogg had to say about something, and we'll talk about the political implications of what he had to say. We'll be right back after this.